Hey there, and welcome back to This Day in History. Sorry. It is this day in history for August 6th, 2024. As you know, it's not about the year, but about the history of the day. And the history of this day is I have another birthday. My ex-stepson, he turns 14 today. And I haven't seen him in over 2 years. And so, I hope he's well. I hope he's doing well. So, I doubt that he'll ever see this video, but if he does, Willie, I love you. I miss you. I'm sorry that things didn't work out, between me and your mom, and just know that, the time spent with you and your family, I wouldn't trade it for anything, and that, you were my mini-me, and I will never stop loving you, son. Never. And I hope that you have a happy birthday. I hope you have a blessed birthday. And I truly mean that, because I miss you. I miss your brother. I miss your sister. I miss your mom. I miss your grandparents. I miss you guys. But I don't miss the nonsense. I don't miss the drama. I don't miss the BS. But I do miss you. And I love you, and happy birthday. So, get that out of the way. It's almost 12:30, and I was heading to the gym, so I'm focused that way. I just need to get this done, taken care of. So, get it done, get it taken care of, get it all the way. So, here we go. August 6th. So, as you know, we start with birthdays. 1809, English poet Alfred Lord Tennyson is often regarded as the chief representative of the Victorian age of poetry. 1881, Alexander Fleming is a Scottish bacteriologist. He was born on this day in 1881. And this one's a little special for me. 1911, which was a great year for firearms. The Colt 45, as you might know it, it's known as the 1911 because that's when it was pressed into service. It was actually invented a little bit before that, but that's its designator. I think that's when the patent was issued for that pistol was 1911, so that's why it's given the designation 1911. But at any rate, it's also known as the 1911 in nomenclature. The Colt 45 was the M1911 for military use. It was a sidearm for officers and non-commissioned officers, medics, people that were issued sidearms or that were authorized to have sidearms that often had that. And then, that weapon served our military for 60 years. So I'm sidetracking. The year is 1911. Who was born in 1911? Here's where it's near and dear to me. It's Lucille Ball. Miss I Love Lucy. She was an American actress. She was a comedian. She battled McCarthyism because she was married to a Cuban, and so it was assumed that they were communists. And she had something to say to Senator McCarthy and his band of misfits and all that. Not that McCarthy era, nonsense. I loved her as growing up. I loved watching I Love Lucy. I loved her comedy. And she passed away in 1989 on my 14th birthday. So that's where it was kind of near and dear to me. And so there's that connection there. 1917, another American actor, Robert Mitchum. He was born on that day. Andy Warhol was born in 1928. He's an American artist. And American baseball player David Robinson was born on this day in 1965. And that's it for the birthdays. Everything that is on our list for history today is all 19th and 20th century. Okay, there's 21st century too, because that's the century we're in. But 1806, after 1,000 years. See, I didn't know this. I didn't know that technically the Holy Roman Empire still existed. I thought it died out in the 1300s, which is why we had the Dark Ages from the 1300s to the late 1500s, when that's like the Age of Enlightenment came about. But it says here that in 1806, which is much more recent, after 1,000 years, the Holy Roman Empire came to an official end, with secession of its Confederate States, when Emperor Francis II of Austria put down the imperial crown. And I'm like, wow. So I guess there was some vestige of the Roman Empire still in existence all the way up until 1806. And I didn't know that. 1825, excuse me. 1825, Bolivia declares its independence from Spain. 1890, convicted murderer William Kemmler. He became the first person executed by the electric chair, and that was at Auburn State Prison in New York. And I knew that electric chair has been around for a while. I didn't realize that it was pre-20th century. But that makes sense, because Thomas Edison was credited to having had some part in the invention of the electric chair. He was actually working on a rudimentary form of it. Like, it's said that he used to go buy pets from neighbor kids so that he could, basically zap them. If you know the history between Edison and Tesla, Tesla interned under him, and he cop just came by. He interned under him, and Edison was DC, and Tesla was AC, as far as the currents there. And Edison was dismissive of DC. It's like DC is or AC, excuse me. It's only DC, it's alternating current. No, it needs to be direct current, blah, 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 blah. But Tesla had rightly pointed out that AC, alternating current, was actually a more efficient way of transmitting power. Well, Edison he was so convinced that DC was the answer that's what he was using for this little contraption he called the electric chair, and he would zap neighbor kids, dogs and cats or whatever. I mean, he was kind of a sick human being, really. But it was the predecessor to, getting this thing finished and finalized to the point where it was actually used on humans for the purpose of execution. So apparently that happened in 1890. 1926, Gertrude Ederle. She was 19, from New York. I thought we talked about her recently, but I can't remember. She became the first woman to swim the English Channel. She broke men's records by nearly 2 hours. She broke the men's record by nearly 2 hours there. 1940, Estonia loses its independence. Why? Because the Soviet Union annexed it. There's not much else to say to that. Because that's what they did. In 1962, after nearly 300 years of British rule, Jamaica becomes an independent country of Commonwealth of Nations, or within the Commonwealth of Nations. Yesterday we had LBJ present the Gulf of Tonkin resolution to Congress. Today we see in 1965 that he signs the Voting Rights Act, which sought to overcome legal barriers that hindered African Americans from exercising their right to vote. And that racist bastard, the only reason why he did that is because he wanted to secure the black vote for the next 50 to 100 years. And if you all think I'm lying, anyone who's of African American origin, if you think I'm lying, go look it up. The reason the Democrat Party panders to African Americans, and I mean, that sounds bad, but I'm not trying to make it sound bad or racist or anything, but the reason why they pander, and pander's not a good word, but I don't know how else to explain it, is that, you know, they threw out this, they did the civil rights stuff, they did all that, and they did it so that they could secure your vote for the next 50 to 100 years. And they keep throwing stuff at you. They you know, like, government benefits, money, blah, 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 blah. I mean, like, they basically want you to be so, they want everybody to be so dependent on the government that, that's their way of securing your vote for the next 50 to 100 years. And LBJ was, I mean, he was a card-carrying member of the KKK, and he, you know, for all the good that the civil rights movement is and was, that his sole motivation for doing it was to keep you guys under the thumb of the Democrat Party. Think about that one for a moment. So, and it's true, and a lot of African Americans are actually waking up to that, and they're seeing that daily when they see the crap that the Democrat Party does. I try not to get political, and I try to call it straight down the line as it is, but I mean, even I've seen this in my whole life. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I hate both parties. I think they're both morally bankrupt. I'm an independent. So, I mean, I'll call both sides out, you know, for the nonsense that they do. And they're both, you know, they're both greedy, self-centered. You know, they're in it for the money. They're in it to line their pockets. They forgot that, you know, we the people, that the Constitution is about we the people, and serving in government is a privilege, not a right. It's a privilege to serve. It's not a, when I say by right, it's not, you know, it's not an entitlement. It's not, you know, we are a citizen government. We serve as citizens so that we can benefit the citizens. It's not supposed to be about we the people. I take that back. It is supposed to be about we the people. It's not supposed to be about we the corporations, or we the rich benefactors, or we the politicians who draft laws so that the minions, you and I, have to follow, but we don't. Congress, Senate, you know, that sort of thing. So, like, I'm on a rabbit trail, and I'm sorry. So, 1965, he signs the Voting Rights Act, and it's supposed to ensure that, like, the playing field is leveled for African Americans specifically to, you know, exercise their right to vote. In 1990, it's on this day in 1990, the UN imposes economic sanctions against Iraq, Saddam Hussein, for its invasion of Kuwait just 4 days prior. So that's the beginning of those 16 UN resolutions drafted against them in the 12-year period that they did. That was the first of them. And what he did is every time there was a UN sanction drafted against him, he basically just wadded it up, tossed it aside, and like, this piece of paper means nothing to me. And that's all you needed to know about the kind of person that Saddam Hussein was. Excuse me, take one to the throat there. Sorry. 2019, we had anti-government protesters. There's a general strike. No, we don't. That was yesterday. My bad. Okay. 1996, it's at the Palace in Los Angeles. Punk band The Ramones, they would play their last concert. 2012, on this day, NASA's robotic vehicle, Curiosity, also called Mars Science Laboratory, landed on Mars and soon began transmitting images of the planet's surface. 2015, American comedian Jon Stewart hosted his last episode of The Daily Show. And if you don't know what that is, it's a satirical news program. It became leading forum for current affairs, especially in politics. Okay, it was meant to be a comedy show that poked fun at politics, but it soon became a political platform for his liberal left agenda. And what I mean by that is that, you know, it's no secret that Jon Stewart is a liberal. and he would use his platform, and it was supposed to be comedy, and this is what drives me crazy about I'm going to go off on another tangent, sorry. This is what drives me crazy about entertainers. Your job is to entertain. I don't need you to inform me about, the politics of the world. I don't care about your opinion. I really don't. Your job is to entertain me, to get my mind off of, the stresses in life that bring me down. One of which is politics, right? If I'm going to go to your comedy show, or if I'm going to, tune into your comedy program, it's because I want to be taken away from reality for a little bit, unwind, relax, and just not be bothered by the current affairs of the world. I don't want you to weigh in on the current affairs, especially if you're not, you're just interjecting your opinion, and you're not a political pundit at all, so you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. And it doesn't matter if you're a comedian. I lost a lot of respect for Dane Cook when he went on an anti-Bush tirade in his stand-up comedy years ago. I lost a lot of respect for him as a comedian. I used to think he was funny. Now I could care less about him. I don't follow celebrities for their political views. I follow celebrities because I like the work that they do. So, unless they want to get into the arena of politics, Fred Thompson was one who did that. He was an actor who was actually a U.S. Senator from Tennessee, I believe. That's one thing. But to use your celebrity status to promote your political agenda, Robert De Niro, I kind of lost some, and I love Robert De Niro's work. I love the man's work. I love his acting. He's one of my favorite actors. But I've lost respect for him over the years with his anti-Trump tirades and his just political nonsense. And yes, I agree that Trump is an asshole too. I also agree that at the time or I believe that at the time he was the asshole that we needed. Now I think it's a bad situation politically right now. I neither want Trump or Kamala Harris as president, and I'll just say that. Again, I'm an independent, I can say that. But yeah, so I had zero respect for Jon Stewart the more that he turned his and Stephen Colbert does that now too, where he thinks he's funny and he's not. At least in my opinion anyway. Again, these are all my opinions, and you can agree with them, you can disagree with them, that's fine. That's part of civil discourse. But it absolutely drives me nuts. And I liked John Cougar Mellencamp. Growing up, I listened to his music. I loved his music, and now I can't ever support him ever again. Here recently, he had a video went viral where he just started his concert, and there was someone in the crowd that was of the opposite political persuasion of him, and he got ticked off. And they were maybe 3 songs into their set, and he walked off the stage. He said, "All right, people, concert's over. Bye." And he didn't care. He already got their money. But if I were the fan that had gone to go see this concert, I would be demanding my money back because I didn't get to see a concert. And it's yes, you were entitled to your opinion, but you're an entertainer, and especially when you're up on stage and you're doing a job, do the job that we paid you to do. So, we paid that ticket. If I'm a paying member of the audience there, I bought a ticket to watch you perform. Therefore, fulfill your contractual duties and perform. That's it. Not that I've ever seen him in concert. I would love to have seen him in concert, but I'll never go to a John Cougar Mellencamp concert ever because of that attitude. No, we're done. So, enough the tirade. 2 important things happened on this day, and we'll wrap up. 1660, Diego Velázquez, he was a Spanish painter. He died in Madrid, Spain. But more recently, 1945, if you are a World War II buff like I am, August 6, 1945 is an important day in the history of World War II. It's the day that we dropped the atom bomb on Hiroshima. As you know, we dropped another bomb on Nagasaki a few days later, and then shortly after that is when the war ended and Japan had signed, the armistice. But The first atomic bomb was dropped, obviously, was in Alamogordo. That was the test bomb. The second bomb was Hiroshima, and that was this bomb that happened on this day in 1945. The blast killed more than 70,000 people. It destroyed most of the city. And obviously, as you well know, the bomb was dropped in an effort to hasten the end of the war, right? Because it was concluded that we were going to lose 1 million more men to effectively end the war, because it meant we'd have to go put boots on the homeland, the main Japanese island, and the Japanese psychology, the mindset of those in power was that we will fight to the very last man, woman, and child, and it would be a total genocide. So, you know, dropping a bomb that kills 70,000 people and another bomb that killed, I think it was like all total, it was like 1.2 million people that were killed. It's a drop in the bucket as opposed to completing a whole genocide of a race. It's still tragic. It's still barbaric. It's still horrible, but it was a necessary evil at the time to save more lives that would have been cost. It wouldn't have just been the million more men on the Allies side. It would have been the whole population of the Japanese people. And it's a beautiful culture, and we couldn't in good conscience, then we'd have been no better than Hitler, really. So, who engaged in a mass genocide of a people just because he didn't like who they were. So, that's it. That's today's day in history for August 6th. We'll do it again tomorrow for August 7th. Have a great day. Be blessed. Take care. And I'm going to go to the gym before I go to work. All right. Take care. Bye.